Well, welcome again to Upon Further Review. This is the show where we review week number 10. We will crown a player of the week, have some honorable mentions, and we'll talk about week 11 here, the district week 2 for this upcoming week here. Ray Halbrook here. We are missing Mr. Jeff Whitener, but we do have Mr. Matt Bates here. Matt, my friend, how are you?
Doing well. Actually, you know what? I'm doing better than some of the other teams that had played this week. And, you know, some kids, and that's the brute reality that we talk about. Once playoffs start, win, you stick around, lose, you go home. And if you happen to be like a senior on one of those teams, you played your last game. And a number of good kids in the area that unfortunately played their last game. And, you know, it's a heartbreaker, but, you know, that's the nature of the beast. Sometimes you can choose your own path or destiny, but, you know, to each of those seniors that played your last game, I mean, did you play your best last game?
Right, absolutely. Well, with that, we will transition into the Week 10 scores, and here they are. Our Week 10 scores are as follows here on live stream STL Thursday night, Friday Night Blitz on a Thursday. New Madrid County Central takes down Jefferson 46-22. Our live stream STL Game of the Week Friday night for Friday Night Blitz there. 36-21 win for the Herculaneum Black Cats over John Burroughs. Other scores, St. Pius X 64, East Prairie nothing. Hillsboro 35 and Sikeston 21. Perryville 39, Windsor 14. North County 21, DeSoto 6, and rounding things out, Fox defeating Poplar Bluff 49-14. And my goodness, you know, let's review here the Jefferson New Madrid County Central game here.
Wow!
And by the way, goodness, you know, it was an interesting beginning, but it was also you know, once New Madrid County Central decided to hit that next gear, it was really difficult for Jefferson to kind of just even just keep up at this point.
That was a game where, you know, this wasn't like a team came in like 8 or like 9 or 8-1 or 8-2 playing against a team that was 1-8. I mean, these were teams coming in 4-5 respectively. And, you know, not having seen New Madrid Central like in any capacity really, you know, when I was down there talking to Coach before the game, and he was, you know, telling me about everybody that was out of their lineup, starting with their starting quarterback, one of their primary receivers, and like a lineman, and, you know, and I'm in my head, I'm thinking, okay, Coach, tell me how this is going to get better. And he was like, you know, so tonight we're going to have Malachi Hughes, one of their like wing backs. He's going to be our quarterback, and you know, I'm just nodding my head, okay, you know. But again, as I've told others, and including you, I said this is the first game I've seen New Madrid Central, and if you would have told me Hughes was not their primary quarterback, I'd have been like, well, I can only imagine what your primary quarterback is like, because once he launched that 87-yard TD pass to Williams, he had a 53-yard touchdown run of his own. But it was just like the Jays defense just got torched. They had no answer because I'm pretty sure both these kids, Williams, the running back, and Hughes, the quarterback, each had at least 125 on the ground going into halftime. Yeah. And so, again, I mean, with the 87-yard TD pass, Hughes was well over 100, 150 going into halftime through the air. And again, this was a game that going into half, it was 38-0, and in the final 30 seconds of that first half, Jefferson sneaks a touchdown in to keep from having the running clock, which, you know, they threw some up at the end. So that's why even the score there at 46-22 almost makes it look closer than it was, but it was anything but that. I mean, for me, theoretically, it was 38-0 at halftime. Right. And Jefferson just had no answer for a team that, at least record-wise, was on an even playing field with them. You know, thought maybe the long drive in might have had some lag.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that's what it was, just to get the boys going for a first drive or two, because the next game we're going to talk about, they had more than a heck of a layoff to where you were like, yeah, you saw some time off. But I'm interested to see how New Madrid plays out the rest of this, because if they do a number like they did on Jefferson, they're going to be a tough team to contend with.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. Just kind of flipping back here to Jefferson, though, I mean, you know, such a great run for some of those seniors, too, even though it was their last game. Guys like Cooper Frisk, and others. But just
and that's why I say you got some good guys in
Yeah.
the area that played their last game to where I would ask that question, like, did you play your best last game?
Yeah, tough
And-
one.
Yes,
Real
Yes.
tough because you don't know exactly what type of injuries they might have been dealing with, because they don't disclose that kind of stuff to us. But and I understand. We completely understand.
Right.
But big kudos out there to the Blue Jays. They had kind of an up and down season this season, and hopefully they're able to kind of jump back and get back to those winning ways. Going into next season. So
Yeah.
let's take a look at our next game here. That's going to be the Herculaneum John Burroughs game, 36-21 for the Black Cats. Man, I'll tell you what, really impressed with the first half. Herculaneum's done a really good job as the season has gone to really just come in with really strong first halves.
Who would have thought their record would be what it is and
Right.
still continue in the playoffs? If you had Windsor, DeSoto, Herculaneum, Jefferson on a sheet of paper and said, there's only going to be one team continuing on, who would you have? And I would bet nobody would have probably said Herculaneum based on the last couple years.
Yep.
To where you'd have been like, okay, they're probably going to have a strong season, have a decent season, but most pundits probably did not have them having the year that they had. And again, this is one of these weird seasons where you've got Herky beating Perryville 16-13.
St. Vincent.
And then you turn around and you see like a Windsor and a DeSoto. Well, actually, I think DeSoto beat Perryville and they also beat Hillsboro. But then Windsor takes one on the chin to them, to where you just kind of scratch your head and you're like some of this just doesn't make sense. But I got to tell you right now, this is another game when you look on paper and you see, man, this must have been close. A 15-point game, 36-21. I mean, Herky was up 28-0 at halftime on this thing, and it looked like they just shifted into cruise control, just dropped her down into neutral, and we were just going to ride this thing on out.
Things you don't do.
So here's what I'm going to say. Herculaneum needs to work on their kickoff return, and especially on the onside kick return, especially on that. This was a team that even against DeSoto, after DeSoto ran a number of them on them, to where, I would have been thinking, okay, as we head into playoffs and in this district tournaments and stuff, that maybe we ought to just spend some time on that. And it looked like they went to sleep on that as well, too, because once that fourth quarter hit, there was like a lot of things that Burroughs did that they didn't do. One was they started going to a hurry-up offense, to where, as I was saying during the broadcast, down by 28, I mean, they started off right off the hop, looking like, where has this been all game? To where I thought if they would have gone like no huddle or hurry up like they were going, they probably, this would have been maybe a different ball game. I just say that based on what I saw, the way that fourth quarter started, because they had that window there from, oh man, like the 8:40. Well, I got the 10:07 mark down to, it was like the 6:45. It was only like a brief 3-minute 45-second window, where if you're blinking, these guys are throwing points up, and as soon as they're scoring or onside kicking, Herky couldn't field one of those to save their life. Right. And you remember our senior year, we played Hillsboro, 15-14. Stiegel had gone in for a touchdown. Yep. Okay, the next kickoff.
Reminiscing here, folks. We're reminiscing.
Well, because what my point is that there was like, you had this momentum going, and Hillsboro we went to kick off to Hillsboro. We drop a kick like right in that little no man's land.
Yep.
Denny Helms went to go play it, and it somehow goes out of his hands through the wickets, and it goes out of bounds, and Hillsboro retains possession, to where we're like, how did that happen? Right. That same thing happened to Ethan Thompson on that other one, where I thought he just went down to scoop it, just to kind of like just keep it in front of him.
Yeah.
Goes through his hands, goes through the wickets, and John Burroughs gets the ball back. And I'm like, this is like when you just start to see things spiral out, where they need something. And when Clark put that last one in with like 50 seconds left, I mean, you kind of heard everybody take that. Okay. Because that's why I said, when you look at the score and it's like, 36-21, dude, this was 28-21 with like 5 minutes left to go.
That's right.
And John Burroughs, who hadn't played in nearly 3 weeks.
Right.
Yes, the first 3 quarters about looked like that, because they were trying to knock the rust off. And as I told head coach Rogers, I said, if you haven't played in 3 weeks, there's a bad animal wearing 33 on the other side, and
Yeah.
Clark struck off. And if you saw his numbers, the 30 for 205, I mean, it was ground and pound, and I mean, every one. I mean, there was a couple that Elijah and I up in the booth, like you heard the pads and the helmet hit, where we were like, okay, this is some bad boy football going on. And right now, shout out to Gavin Feltman. This is at least the third time I've covered Herculaneum where there's been a thing I call the Gavin Feltman, where, so Friday night he had a strip sack. Herculaneum gets the ball. The next possession, or that very possession, Struckoff goes down, scores. That's a Gavin Feltman.
Yeah.
And he did that against Perryville.
Okay.
Had a series of downs where he was made first, second, third down play, gets Perryville to punt. First possession, what does Struckoff do? Puts one in the end zone because of the Gavin Feltman.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing way back against Fredericktown as well, too, early on in the season, where you had a guy that on the defensive side took that whole possession upon himself, and then the Black Cats turn around that very possession and stick one in the end zone, and that was how they got their first touchdown Friday night. And so, the 2 sacks, 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, the quarterback pressures. I mean, Feltman in 14 was just all over their quarterback in every capacity. So, I mean, anything you wanted from the defensive side of the ball, Gavin Feltman did that in spades. And great job by Hankins running the ball as well, too. He, 19 for 122, that can't go unnoticed. Had 2 TDs as well, too. But the Bombers, I mean, they showed some life. But as I said, on a Halloween night in your trick-or-treat bag, the winner gets Valley next.
Yes.
So,
oh, my goodness, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, on that Herky offense, you've got Keaton Reeves out, and it was a great job by Chase Lubert stepping in. And I had said that during the broadcast, too, was, your backup quarterbacks were 0 for 4 on the season, had not completed a pass. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's enough film, as we say, week in, week out, that, if you wanted to stack 8 in the box, you're going to make Herky have to throw, I guess. But they only threw the ball one time, and the one time to Feltman, where he had everybody beat because they were stacking and loading the box that I thought maybe they would incorporate a little more pass. But Herky gets the win. They move on. They take Valley. And, I mean, it's just like next man up.
Yep.
Tape up, buckle up, wrap up, because it's gonna get serious down there in Valley.
There you have it. Let's take a look at the rest of these scores here real quick and, maybe pick out a game or two here. They got St. Pius, East Prairie. That was kind of a cakewalk for the Pius Lancers there. The Hillsboro-Sikeston game looked like that was going to be a pretty good, matchup there. Surprising Perryville 39-14 win over Windsor.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a surprise of the North County 21-6 over DeSoto as well. Big surprise was the Fox 49, Poplar Bluff 14 score.
Yeah, that was actually the game I was going to talk about because it was, again, a coming out party for DJ Cox, who to me, once again, as you move up in class, is the way Logan Wilson is for the Owls on his special teams. Mm-hmm. DJ Cox is like that and then some. I mean, you talk about a senior that and as we say also here in Jefferson County too, like field goals are kind of like a non-thing. The special teams as you move up.
Oh yeah.
And DJ Cox is one of those guys in the Jefferson County area that I guess I dare say he takes special teams to heart. I mean, his punt returns, kickoff returns, anything you want on that what I call that third side of the ball. Mm-hmm. He does it in spades, but when you put him in the lineup as well, he's a heck of a wide receiver. 18 for 218 on the ground. As a wingback, had 2 TDs, but had one TD 60 yards, another one 62. 2 TDs alone, 122 yards just on those 2 carries. Sets Fox up for. I mean, and let's be honest, for a while they couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Mm-hmm. And they do a 35-plus number on Poplar Bluff. Right. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Again, another game. If you would have told me Fox won, okay, probably 14-13. Maybe won by a touchdown, but to win by 5 over this Sikeston team, again, there's just some stuff you just shake your head about. Again, Perryville 25 over Windsor. To where, again, this was a Perryville team that Herculaneum beat 16-13, really had them on the ropes most of the evening. I sometimes I'm just I'm at a loss, and like North County Windsor, a 15-point difference. I mean, okay, but I thought DeSoto at home might have had a nod with that,
Sure,
where I could have seen them winning that one, maybe 24-21, because that's a team that's got 3 kickers at their disposal.
Yeah.
And I think 2 of them come off the soccer team. Like one of them's Josh Golightly, and then they got Weber and one more. But again, it's a team that's got a plethora of riches that, if you needed a field goal near the end, something like that, I thought DeSoto, could have had a kicking game. But North County sneaking up and doing a 21-6 number on them. Kudos to the Dragons finishing 5-5. That was a hard-fought season. Windsor, again, you talk about a team that was up and down, finishing 4-6. I really thought they were. I thought they would have been more like a 6-4 than a 4-6. But hey, that's however the way the wind blows. Then you look at Pius doing a number on a 1-8. East Prairie, I guess as they say, is what it is. But Hillsboro, nice showing. They got Festus next week.
Yeah, it's the season of it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
And the enigma that is this middle of the pack group of teams that are kind of like, okay, I'm going to go and we're gonna upset probably a much better team. And then all of a sudden you drop one and you're out, and that's all she wrote. So it really is just it's an enigma this year, and we haven't had that. You normally have dominance all the way down, and there's everybody else in between type thing, and it's spread out a lot farther. Where our middle of the pack was, there were probably 5 or 6 teams right there, and it could have just go any which way but loose, and so welcome to the 2025 season, right? So there you go. Well, we're going to take a look at our player of the week here in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Craving authentic Italian cuisine? Hi, this is Don Bollinger at the Pasta House Company in Festus. We're serving up happiness one plate at a time. From our made-to-order pasta dishes to our mouth-watering pizzas, everything is prepared with the finest ingredients. Try our fresh ground burgers, hearty lasagna, or our perfect appetizers. Happy hour every day with half-price pizzas, and kids eat free every Sunday. Visit us at pastahouse.com to order online or for delivery on Highway A and Pounds Road, where it's always a great time.
It is time for our Upon Further Review Player of the Week. Thank you so much to the Pasta House for being our sponsor for this. And this week's Player of the Week is none other than Cody Schaefer from the St. Pius X Lancers. Cody, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Excellent, man. Hey, you had a heck of a game Friday night there. 22 rushes, 212 yards, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 touchdowns on the night. So you had a pretty good day at the office. Tell us a little bit about the game and just your thoughts overall.
Yeah, it was like one of those first playoff games. So, I mean, they weren't that good, but I mean they were, it's a varsity team, so just doing my thing.
I gotcha. And we've seen a whole lot of stats out of you all season long. Post gives us a lot of stats there, and always close to the top of the leaderboard. What's been the driving force of Cody Schaefer this season?
Just proving everybody wrong for my injuries too. I like to, and I love my boys that I play with, so. I try to give them all that. I try to give them everything I got every single game.
Excellent. The Lancers have had kind of an up and down season, but you've got a pretty tough schedule, and you kind of set that up on purpose to get yourself ready for these district games, and have had a lot of adversity, but at the same time have kind of flown through some of that there. So tell us a little bit about just this season, your thoughts overall on the season.
At the beginning of the season, I originally didn't think I was going to do this good at all. I thought I was, because I just got surgery on my knee, right before the season during summer. So I didn't think I was really going to go that crazy. And then I just had a breakout year.
Excellent. Love it. Well, you've got this week tough one here. The St. Vincent Indians will be in town here, and I don't know if you guys have had a chance to maybe take a look at what they're all about, but they've had a pretty good season off and on here in the last few years. But what's the game plan maybe, and just your thoughts on what it would take to get a victory?
I think it's gonna come down to defense for coverage wise, because they pass. They're kind of like Valley. We just played Valley last game, and we held them to 14 points. So and our coverage is doing really good. I think that's what will win the game, because I don't think anybody can run on us. Our run defense is probably one of the best, and maybe in the state, I think. But yeah, it's going to come down to the coverages for the pass game.
All right. There you have it. Cody Schaefer with the bold prediction for this week here. So good luck to you this week, and congrats on being Player of the Week, and good luck to you this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
It's Cody Schaefer from the St. Pius X Lancers. We are back here with our honorable mentions, and they are here as follows. We've got the triple header here from Herculaneum, since we covered that particular game there Friday night. Clark Struckhoff, 30 rushes, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Michael Hankins, 19 rushes, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gavin Feltman, we did get Mr. Feltman in there. 6 tackles on the night, 2 assists, 1 that SSF, that is the strip sack fumble.
Look at you.
And we also have some more things to add there in just a minute. Go ahead. I'll let you add it. Go ahead now.
Just add two sacks to that.
2 sacks to that. My apologies on that particular thing. Okay. Windsor's Jack Kuda, 17 rushes, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. Even though that was a loss, still a pretty good showing there. And Fox's DJ Cox, 18 rushes, 218 yards, 2 TDs, and anything you want to add on top of that there, Matthew?
Well, really, seeing Jack Kuda on there, getting the 17 for the 152, the 2 TDs, basically accounted for all of Windsor's scoring. Then that would lead you to ask then, what kind of game did Logan Wilson have? Because it's normally who you see there in place of anybody else when you talk about a Windsor running game. He was held to 18 for 85, so, Kuda getting the workman's share of the load there in that game. Great job by him. And, again, another great guy in the area in Logan that, played his last game. Tough to see some of those, kiddos knowing that, they played their last one. But I think that trifecta up there with Herculaneum, you can't go wrong either way. I mean, Feltman set the stage on the defense. So did Struckhoff. I think he had 8 tackles as well, too, from his middle linebacker spot. Felt like he had more than that. But you look at the 200-plus he had on the 30 carries. That's like one of those guys that, like if he was like, I'm going to soak in a tub for like 2 days. Hey, you do that, dude. You do you.
Right. Right.
But, yeah, great job by DJ Cox as well, too. So, I mean, yeah, outside of Windsor's production in that losing effort, but you see, Herculaneum, what it's going to take for them to move forward, and you see, what DJ Cox did, not just on special teams, but now using him in that wingback formation, you've got to count for 218 yards, only 18 carries. So, how does Fox, move ahead? Because they got Farmington next, so that's, no walk in the park either. So, I mean, as sad as I'm to see some of these teams that have played their final game, I'm excited to see how this next round shakes out, because we got some teams, that had some bye weeks now, because like Northwest Seckman, right. Come on now.
Yep.
Come on now.
Yep.
And you got Herky Valley. Come on.
Hey,
Festus Hillsborough. Come
you're
on.
You're about ready to let the cat out of the bag here. So
there's a lot of cats, and there's a lot of bags.
Hold on just a little bit longer here. We'll be right back here with the Week 11 scores, or the schedule,
yes,
I should say. So check it out. We'll be right back. After Friday Night Blitz, check out the Friday Night Blitz postgame at 10 p.m. Our Friday Night Blitz announcers will catch up with coaches from around the area and grab some postgame interviews to cap off another Friday night football frenzy. That's the Friday Night Blitz postgame show at 10 p.m. on Livestream STL. It is now time to take a look at week number 11 schedule, and it is as follows. We have right now at this hot moment, we have the Northwest Seckman game on tap on live stream STL Friday night. A lot of these games could change to Thursday night. We just haven't been informed on that yet. So stay tuned. We'll hope to have those updated this week. So right now we have the Northwest at Seckman game. That will be on live stream STL. We have that confirmed. Other games, Hillsboro is at Festus. Louisiana is at Grandview. Kudos to Grandview for having that number 1 seed, by the way. Crystal City travels to Fanfare. St. Vincent is at St. Pius X. Herculaneum is at Valley Catholic. North County is at Perryville. Rockwood Summit is at Eureka. And Oakville is at Jackson, and I pray for them. That's all I have to say about that particular thing.
Yeah,
so,
going down to the pit ain't going to be fun.
Not going to be fun at all. So let's take a look at the the Northwest Seckman matchup. It's the rematch from a few weeks ago, a handful of weeks ago, and I know it wasn't the outcome that Northwest wanted at all. In fact, they had a really, really rough way to go over there in Jaguar Nation, but it's a chance for them to get redemption. It's a chance for them to take a look at deep into the tape to see what weren't we doing that we've been doing all year long. It seems like, because it just seems like all of them the competition that they played, other than Seckman, and I even put that even into Oakville. I mean, Oakville had a tough defense against them, but I mean, Northwest has just walked over everybody else. So what is the difference between where they're at now versus these teams like Seckman and Oakville?
So you're going to have people on one side of the ledger that are going to say, well, you look at the teams that they beat, and you look at the teams that they lost to. They lost to Seckman, they lost to Oakville. I think they more than held their own in their victories with who they beat, who they had on their schedule, to where – and I wanted to highlight that Oakville game, and as I said last week, that outside of that week – I thought it was week 2. It was either week 2 or week 3 that they played Seckman. Outside of that 5-minute window to where they took that gut punch of like 3 touchdowns that they couldn't recoup from, and let's face it, if you talk to Coach Gerling, it looked bad. Because there was just something, again, like in that Herky Burroughs game, where in that small window, everything just seemed to like unravel, to where once you tried to get your head around what was going on, all of a sudden the team had thrown up 3 touchdowns on you. To where, okay, now it's about stopping the presses. And once Northwest was able to do that, they hung in there. As they morph through the season, they're starting to put up win after win after win, and you're like, okay, you're riding this, to where that's where I highlighted that Oakville game, to be like, okay, what kind of showing are they going to have in this? And yes, it was tough. 10-7, I believe that's what that was. Okay. I really thought if Northwest wanted to make a stamp on the season, that I thought they would have taken care of business in that game, maybe something like a 25-10, 24-10 over Oakville. They hung with Oakville, played with Oakville, but now it's like they got to go back to Seckman again. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know, because I really think you can flip a coin on this one with that Northwest Seckman game. I think if Northwest comes out with the fire and the intensity that they'd showed through most of the season, I think they can have an admirable showing in the game. But I think if they come out and Seckman's did they do some trickery, onside kick, and start this thing where they get Northwest spiraling out of control again for a little brief window, I don't think that would bode well for Northwest. I think they got to figure out just how to right the ship and sustain and maintain. And I think, and as you say, week in and week out as well too, don't really deviate from your plan to a point. Stick with it. But the good coaches, though, they will morph, and if they see something working, I have no problem with them morphing down that path. But but don't just change your plan mid. To try to think like we need. Go back to like Coach Afadale against like what they did against Jackson, where they got out of the passing game and thought, well, maybe we need to put the brakes on. Jackson's like, I don't care what you do.
This is what we're going to do.
As soon as you give us the ball back, we're scoring.
Right.
Where I think Festus could have hung with them if they wanted it to turn into a track meet. But okay,
here's my take on that whole thing. I see out of most of these matchups, and we'll use this Seckman Northwest matchup, and we'll use the matchup with anybody against Jackson. What goes on between your head,
Right.
and between those ears, I think has about 85 to 90% of what the outcome really is. The minute that you are set up with any kind of adversity, do you flight or fright?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you flying to the ball? Or are you frightened to go to the ball? There's a big difference.
And you know what? It's funny you mention it because I was just thinking that, you know what? Because if Seckman is looking past Northwest to get to Jackson,
you don't want to do
again,
that. No, you don't want to do that.
Well, that's what I was going to say to counter that. Because if you're wanting that rematch because Jackson is so in your head,
Yep.
and you overlook Northwest and they do a flip of the script where all of a sudden they come out and they ring up 4 right off the bat against you. Again, I know Coach Bear is going to have them prepared as best they can, but I'm just saying that's something to consider as well too. Because as much as Jackson is in their minds all the time from week 1 on.
Yep.
You know, you just don't want to get caught with your pants down in a situation like this where,
Yep.
you know what, because we've beaten Northwest so many times, we've got their number, we want Jackson. Well, again, you leave that back door open, the Lions could sneak in, take one from
Yep.
you.
I agree with that. Both teams got to come prepared. Both teams, and if they do, it's going to be one heck of a game.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Moving on here, let's take a look at some other games here as well.
Man.
Pick a game there, Mr. Matthew.
Man, well, I mean, you Hillsboro Festus is so easy to talk about because that's just that is just a local one near and dear to everybody's heart. I want to see Louisiana come in and how the Eagles handle having that week off. You know, when you talk Grandview, number 1 seed, bye weeks, all this stuff, that's something you typically don't talk about with a Grandview program. And I dare say, you know, again, these teams, you know, when you get that bye week off, you deserve that. Yep. You know, that gives you time to heal, time to recoup. So I think Grandview is going to be just as dangerous. I don't like Crystal City going on the road. I think they should be able to handle Van Far. If you want to throw that up again real quick,
sure.
Because I know there's, you know, Herky Valley. You know what? Really, to me, I think, and this is, again, no disrespect to Lubert, but I would like to see a healthy Herky team with Keaton Reeves going down the valley, because I hate when a team might be faced with losing to a powerhouse kind of team and they don't have all their systems going. But again, that is no disrespect to Chase Lubert. He filled in admirably for Keaton against John Burroughs. No problem with that. But I would, you know, because if Herky wants to break out a passing game, like I said, quarterbacks 2 and 3 on down the line haven't completed a pass at all. So, you know, and Coach Judd down there doesn't take a genius to know, like, if I want to load 8, 9 up in the box to make them
do that.
So again, that's one of those things where my heart goes out, that if the Warriors come out and they just start unloading, I hope Herky has a good showing in that game.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at like your North Counties, North County, Perryville, St. Vincent as well too. I'm liking some of those games, and to where I think there is going to be some games where I think we're going to have some surprises.
Right. Yeah. Let's take a look here real quick. I'm going to take a look. I think that St. Vincent, St. Pius X game, that St. Pius X team, this is going to be their, you know, has the season paid off for playing such a tough schedule. And, you know, I think that's important for them to be able to kind of use that as a measuring stick against a decent St. Vincent team. They've had some ups and downs. You know, they lost there to Herky middle of the week there, middle of the season there. But, you know, you stub your toe, but they've kind of turned the ship around a little bit more and have just been on, you know, kind of on a tear. But so that should be a really good matchup there. You know, Hillsboro and Festus is Hillsboro and Festus.
Right.
You know, we'll see. You know, and Hillsboro has gotten a little bit better in the last few weeks here. You know, I mean, everybody knows kind of what to expect with that. It's almost a similar thing as like Windsor. You know, they're going to run the ball, pass when they only need to. You know, Herky Valley, I mean, I would love to see Herky just keep it close. And if that happens, that's a win in my book. North County, Perryville, flip a coin.
I know. Again, seeing North County and Perryville, and
Yeah.
again, I still go back to Herky beat Perryville 16-13.
Right.
DeSoto beat Perryville.
Yep.
And I'm just
Yep.
And I guess because I haven't seen any numbers yet, I just wonder what kind of night Wheeler had for Perryville then on Friday, because apparently he must have been
We won't know till next season.
running loose once again.
Yeah, we won't know till next season.
I know.
Just kind of how it works. which, by the way, I am
You
very
know-
pro. Give me my stats, please. So
Perryville, to their credit, one of the teams, south of the Jefferson County equator,
Right.
is doing their part to at least make stats available in some capacity. So, I mean, there is something to be said about, the Pirates getting some posting out there. But, I mean, you don't have to go area, 51 on us anymore with that. I mean, again, it's
agreed.
that's another speech for another time. But,
When we decide to have a TED Talk, I'll make sure that we schedule that.
yeah, please do.
There you have
Yeah, I think I agree with you too. I would like to see a nice showing from Herculaneum in that game just to see, because once again you're going on the road. Your primary quarterback is banged up. Gosh darn it.
You hope Struckoff maybe gets a couple touchdowns and puts a little bit of fire or maybe a little bit of terror.
And you know
into
what, the
Valley.
beating and the battering
hope.
that he has taken all season, and especially last week too, that I would have thought that was another guy that I thought maybe the wick on the candle might be running out. But when you look at the 30 carries again that he had,
Sure.
and there wasn't
Big load.
and there was not one of those carries where there wasn't some major pads popping. And again, he turns around on the other side of the ball from middle linebacker spot. I think that's going to be the cog, the straw that stirs the drink for Herculaneum in that game, because I'm going to just dare say, Struckoff goes from here on out. I think that's going to be how Herky goes.
There you have it. There you are. That is another week of Upon Further Review here. Don't forget to check out all of our games on livestream.stl.tv and our Roku TV app there. Just search in the Roku search bar for Livestream STL. Download that app. You can watch everything for free except for the playoff games that are on Misha TV. There's your disclaimer. So for all of us here at Upon Further Review, Matt Bates, Ray Halbrook, have a wonderful evening.
Be a good human.
Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.